I actually currently have sound turned off because I am number one, no one was in here, and number two, I'm watching people do stuff on YouTube and didn't want that reflected across, and I've never figured out how to only have like the very specific thing that I'm doing brought in. But as I said, like no one was in here, so it was like it's not as if it was changing anything. I'll tell you, having to grind one eye so much to get your triple AP weapons, everybody, that you have 99 magic defense spheres. I mean, I guess. I don't know. I'm gonna have to do something about the sound, because I wasn't talking or doing anything, so I don't know if there's any point putting it on YouTube, because there's nothing in it. It's just me fighting One Eye over and over and over until he actually drops all the stuff I needed. Like, it took absolutely for goddamn ever to get him to pay out. Okay, apparently I need level 3 orbs. How do I get level 3 orbs? Yeah. Level 3 is a bribe from Demonolith. For how much? 900,000 gil, huh? Okay, I can do that. Wait, does she even have bribe? Did I ever give her bribe? No, right? Like, we never got bribe. Or is that bribe? That's copycat. Where's bribe? Is this bribe? No, that's quick pockets. Like, I'm reasonably sure that Riku does not have bribe right now. But I'm wrong. Cool. That's actually pleasing to me. Let's go bribe something. I said to Monolith, which is considered to be an Inside Sin monster. Well, that sucks. You special bribe it for lots of money. Cool. Now, did it actually give me what I wanted? Yes, it did. Good. Okay. So we are currently doing the sphere grid covering, but because I got so damn many magic defense orbs off of One Eye, I'm actually starting to do my magic defense orb replacement procedure. Because I got enough to max out magic defense for all characters. Which, again, that's stupid that it took that long to get everything. What type of orb is this? That's magic. Okay. So I've decided that Riku, Tidus, and Yuna are going to be my main 3 for a while. So I'm doing the level up nonsense for them. Looks like I'm going to need to go get some speed spheres soon. That being said, killing One Eye is, 50 times, like I had to do, was not the major problem that I expected it to be. So this grinding may go faster than I was expecting. which I would appreciate. And then what I'm going to try to do is once I get the main 3 leveled, I'm going to go press the button that like, there's a button for PC that automatically levels everybody else. And I'm curious if it actually automatically fills in the entire sphere grid. Because if it does, I'll just do that, and then we'll have some fun, and we'll go see what it's like, you know, having Lulu smack someone with a Kate Sith doll. I mean, I'm gonna do this part legit, but I'm not leveling up everybody manually legit. Screw that noise. Oh, nope, didn't actually want to press either of those buttons, thank you. Okay, where do I get level 4 key spheres? Bribe off of Chimera Brain. Okay, how much? 200,000. Okay, if I must, I must. Okay. Comlands. Chimera Brain. Maybe do this, like, twice and get 4 more for now. Because, like, I need more than just this, but I'm not really going to have the money. God, I'm going to have to go grinding money. Okay. Hey, got an extra there. Nice. I mean, just look at how many level 4 key spheres are needed for just this section of the board. Is this even a good... That is a good luck sphere. Okay. We'll leave that there. Normally, you're not at... Like, the normal strategy for this is not even to level up magic defense first. It just so happens that, like, I have that many spheres already. I think we're supposed to do accuracy first. I mean, it's been a while since I've done this like, this level up system, but... I forget, what is this sphere and why do I care? Double cast? I don't. Cool. Well, we got plenty of level 2s at least. So I don't really have to worry about that. Okay, what's that? That's magic defense by 4. Okay, so that's good. Don't have to replace that one. Hey, Wonder Girl. You have not been missing anything, I promise. We are in one of the most boring parts of the playthrough, which is the leveling everyone up like hell section. All you've missed so far was me grinding a single boss for an hour straight. Okay, so I think I'm going to flip myself over to this section. Start working through this section of Lulu Sphere Grid. And that's going to be Riku done for the time being. And then we need evasion spheres. We need... I'm not allowed to move anymore. Cool. Yuna, it's your turn to do all that shit that Riku just did. I mean, you did meet the character who is dreaming up Tidus. You met him a long time ago. Well, them. And Tidus isn't accepting he doesn't exist. That's also not really accurate. I'm gonna just activate this one just because it's right here. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have Yuna start chasing Riku into Lulu Sphere Grid. That way it's a little bit simpler to... Like, what I would normally do, and what I did last time, is I would try to get all of my characters on the same spot. So that way it was a lot easier to calculate how many more spheres we needed. I don't think you're being punished for caring. I'm not gonna lie. I think if that's the lesson you took out of it, then... either the game didn't teach you right, which I disagree with, or you took the wrong lesson from the game. I mean, it is a lesson that I have found that a number of D&D players I have played with have accepted, which annoys the ever-loving hell out of me. But because I say that, that also means that it's not an uncommon lesson. But there is a... I feel there is a thing that you're not seeing. God damn it. Now I need more key spheres. I need more level 4s. I don't have the money to get level 4s. Do I want to deal with that right now? I mean... that's the question right now, right? Do I want to deal with that right now? That's just a magic. Okay. I can come back for that. I mean, that's level 3. I can just go ahead and open up to level 3 right now, but... see... I'm one of those people that believes in... it's not a punishment for caring. Like, I guess the fundamental part where you and I differ on this is that you believe it's a punishment. I don't. You feel that you're being punished for caring about Tidus. I feel as if it's showing you how much you care for Tidus. And now I can't do anything more because I need to go get some speed spheres. So let's go get some speed spheres. Okay, look, let me... Okay, so the deal is... And this is in my opinion, but I'm going to absolutely fight with the statement that I believe my opinion is correct on this particular thing. And that thinking differently about this particular item would mean you're wrong. Whoops. That's a problem. That was a lot of damage. That's annoying. Let's go ahead and pull out Waka. Waka, you can hold on for a second. Let's pull out Auron. Auron, you're going to raise Tidus real quick. So, in my opinion, and as I said, I am pretty convinced that my opinion is correct on this one. I need a extract speed. There we go. I am firmly of the belief that where there is no... Number one, where there is no risk, there is no reward. But also, in my opinion, just gotta focus for a second, because Kados is kind of a pain in the ass at the power level I'm at right now. So where there is no risk, there is no reward, but also loss enhances gain, in my opinion. And what I mean by that, if that's not, if that phrasing isn't obvious in and of itself, what I mean by that is that when we're talking about characters who, you have grown to like, and, you know, you appreciate what they bring to the game, and, you know, you, do I not have enough for Auto Phoenix? I do have an Auto Phoenix. Okay. So, let's give her Auto Phoenix. And let's get... Yes, that's actually exactly what I'm going for. It's not... But it's not that it makes the freedom of Spira more meaningful. It makes your affection of Tidus more meaningful. The best example I can give this to you is of a game. Think of your favorite games. And think for a moment of what that game would be like if the game did not have difficulty. So we're not talking about a situation where, you know, the game... we're not talking about a situation where the game, like... you know, does what this game did to you. We're talking about a game where there's just no difficulty. You beat everybody in one hit. There's no pits to jump over. There is no threat. There is no effort. All you do is you just go in and you press the A button once and you win. That game is not satisfying. There is no satisfaction to that game. Think about a game where every decision you make comes with no inherent risk. You make the decision and just stuff happens and it's always nice and pretty. Then there is no inherent gain out of any decision you made, because every decision is good. It is very much the feeling of, like, I think his name is Syndrome from The Incredibles, which is, if everyone is exceptional, then no one is. If there is no variance, and I hate this word because there's a usage of it that I just get annoyed with, but if there is no variance, if things do not change, if there's none of that, okay, what do I have real quick? I need Mana Sphere. Wait, why do I only have 42 speed spheres? I should have lots more than that. He should be giving me like 80 speed spheres every time I beat him. What the shit? Kados, what are you doing? If we're at a situation where, I'm just gonna hit him again with extract speed, just in case. Okay. It's got nothing to do with losing means winning. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that losing Tidus means you won Tidus. I mean, this is having your sweet and your sour at the same time, and they each enhance each other. You, over the course of the game, learn to appreciate the characters Tidus, Jecht, characters who originally are potentially shallow, characters who, when you originally start to learn them, you don't really appreciate them as much. And you end up having a situation where, over the course of the game, you grow to appreciate them, and the sense of loss at the very end goes on to enhance the feeling you had about them because you lost them. They are more powerful, or the feeling for them is more powerful now that you have lost them than it was when you still had them. Well, that's the thing. You're equating, like, you're thinking you have to win, and that winning is what matters. And, sure, it is important to win, but also, it's also worth thinking about that, like, yeah, we lost Tidus, and the loss of Tidus was important for the freedom of Spira, but those things are not related to each other. Like, that's not the big thing. That's not the thing that, why don't I have extract? I need extract mana. Who has extract mana? Because I need like Tidus to have extract mana. Which is skill sphere. Where is extract mana? That would probably be, I'm assuming it's down here somewhere. Darkbuster, sleep attack, extract ability, silence attack, dark attack, extract mana. Okay. It's got nothing to do with it being a powerful ending or anything like that. I mean, that's not the thing. It's that quote-unquote opposite emotions or opposite sensations have a tendency to enhance the other one. And there are very distinct and well-known situations where you get these. One I would specifically talk about is, the musical Les Miserables, where the majority of the characters that we have grown to love throughout the entirety of the musical are dead by the end. Like, almost every single one. Almost every character you care about in that show is dead by the time we finish the show. But every single death means something. It is important for the storyline. And it also allows you to really kind of focus on, why did I care about this character? Why was that important? The feeling of loss of that character helps to offset the feeling of love for that character. And being able to kill off a character, while not always a good thing, I believe, in media. I'm not always a fan of killing off a character, but having your audience lose a character that they were a fan of really does throw in relief for them after the fact of, wow, I really cared about that character. That character was important. So it does different things. Yes, having a true happy ending is always nice and well and good, but a happy ending that cost something ends up being more powerful than a happy ending that didn't. And this just tends to be how people are wired. People don't accept free advice as much as they accept advice they have to pay for. People don't accept free things as much as they accept things they have to pay for. The loss of something ends up enhancing the value of whatever it is you gained by way of that loss. So the thing is, this game decided that the person that we lose needs to be Tidus, and the loss of Tidus is not necessarily a bad thing. It's actually kind of a good thing, because in the same time as we lose Tidus is the same time that Tidus dies. You know, I mean, you're misunderstanding the nature of Tidus's existence, I believe. Tidus did and does exist. He's not fake. He's not a non-existent character. Tidus exists. He was real. He did live. And that's something that the game makes very clear. But the big thing for Tidus is that his existence, his ability to stay on this world, hinges on the Faith being able to maintain the summoning of Dream Zanarkand. So Tidus is forced to make a decision, which again, I'm in any form of media, I'm a big fan of forcing people to make decisions, because when it's an easy decision, it's meaningless, for the most part. If there was no agony for it, it's like, okay, well, what's the point? Would you rather have $5 or no dollars? Well, that's a pretty easy decision, especially when there's no downside, And I'm making it clear from how I say this, there's no downside. You either get $5 or you get $1. They're forcing Tidus to make a decision, and Tidus has to make that decision. And his decision is that it is better for Zanarkand, like for me to not exist, for Spirit to exist. And this is actually something the game dumps on you a lot earlier. It's actually something outright said by Luzu just prior to Operation Mihin fixing off. And it's a line that he's repeating from Lulu's fiancé from Chapu. And the line was, "Being with your girl is good. Keeping your girl safe from sin is better." And it plants that idea into the audience's head that sacrifice is potentially required, and it can have a greater good than just you yourself. They play with this idea multiple times throughout the game, and then eventually it culminates with Tidus's concept that the greatest good right now is saving everybody, keeping Yuna safe, and giving everybody else the happy ending to their story. So he chooses everybody else over himself, which is a pretty decent thing of him to do. But as I said, Tidus exists. Tidus is real. He is not, like, at no point is Tidus a fake thing. He is a real character. If I remember correctly, there's a thing where they're talking about how, like, the Faith starts, like, blending together personalities of the old people from Zanarkand to create new personalities. So he is real. And that's the thing. And that's why, when you're sitting here going like, oh yeah, Tidus isn't real. It's like, no. Tidus is very real. Tidus is as real as every other character in the game. The major difference with, speaking of Tidus, I need to have him meet up with Yuna and Riku at some point. And I'm trying to think of how to have him get down there and not miss out on a bunch of shit. But I think what he's just going to do is I'm just going to have him teleport back here. Because I kind of need... where'd you start today? You started up there? Okay. So I need Tidus to be over here, because at a certain point, I'm going to have to start balancing sphere levels. Okay. Tidus is going to go here. Whoops, that's not, actually not... I want him to be here. I need to start... Crap. I need to start balancing sphere levels here because I'm going to need to start comparing stats a little bit later on in the level up setup. Because all the characters have a base stat level that they start with. So, for example, I think Tita starts with more speed than the majority of them. Yuna starts with a little bit more magic, I believe. I believe Lulu starts with more MP. Are we out of power spheres? Almost. Lulu starts with more MP. So what I need to do is I need to start balancing it so that way all of them, like, I need to figure out the exact point where any given character crests the 255 mark, and then I have to start adjusting that because I have to start deleting old spheres and using new ones to allow me to kind of max out all possible stats as fast as possible. I need to not go there because this still exists. And it's kind of a pain in the butt, but in order to do this, I need all the characters that I'm leveling up to be on the same spot when I move them. Like, they all need to end up on the same spot, so they have activated the same replacement spheres. So that way I know, you know, okay, they've done all of these, therefore the ones in front of them I can replace. And you'll see what I mean once the entire sphere grid is filled up for the 3 characters we're using. But yeah, I think it sounds to me from what you're saying is that the main gripe you have is that you feel that Tidus was never a real character, and you feel that the game toyed with your emotions to make you feel he was real, and then took him away and said he was never real in the first place, and you should have never had feelings, you know, feelings of like for him. And that's just flat wrong. The game's not trying to do that. Yeah, I can't pretend to understand anything about Five Nights at Freddy's. It's not a series I have any interest in. But yeah, so you're sitting here and you're like, okay, Tidus was a dream. Okay, so to enhance that, Tidus was a dream, and therefore, you know, when he dies, it is nothing but, kind of like you said in that phrase there, he's just fading into nothingness. There was no recipient for the emotions that I felt, and therefore the emotions that I felt were just invalid. And first of all, ignoring the folly of having that particular line of thought about a video game character, because at the end of the day, a video game character does not exist at all, so it's kind of silly for that particular line of thought to exist on a video game character. But so again, kind of ignoring that. Why did I summon Yojimbo of all people? That was kind of silly. So ignoring that part. Again, Tidus existed, and this is a point that the Faith makes at a certain point. Let's go ahead and just pull out Waka again. The Faith actually makes the point about Tidus existing. Like, it outright says it, that he became more than just a dream, and so did his dad. They're more than just a summon, but the problem is that the Faith can't maintain them once everything is said and done. The Faith from... Yes! Tidus learned Blitz Ace. Awesome. Okay, we're finally done with that nonsense. Tidus... Or the Faith understood exactly what would be required of Tidus, of Jekt, of Yuna. They understood what was going to happen. And how things would have to occur towards the end of the game. They understood that, you know, the Faith understood that they would have to die. The Faith themselves would have to die in order for everything to work the way that was necessary. So, you know, this was part of the part and parcel with the way it was going to have to end. The Faith would have to sacrifice themselves. Jekt would have to sacrifice himself, and Tidus would have to sacrifice himself in order for everything to actually go the way it needed to go. And it lets us know that extremely early on. It lets us know that, you know, about the same time as we have, I think it's the same time that Tidus learns that he's a summon. I think the problem you're having is how the Faith talks about what they are. You know, the faith goes that we are dreaming, we are tired. Because I think the faith is not able to actually tell Tidus. Here's Blitz Ace, by the way. This is the final overdrive for Tidus. And it's kind of cool. The person who sends the ball up to Tidus right there is entirely dependent on who has the most affection for you. So, as usual, because it's this playthrough, it's Lulu. So it'll always be Lulu throwing the ball up to Tidus. But I think you're misunderstanding the nature of the phrase, you know, we are dreaming. The faith is trying to tell Tidus what's really going on without really telling him, because maybe they're not allowed to. They're not allowed to tell him what they're doing. Yeah, the person who tosses the blitzball is not random. It's based on who likes you the most. Crap. I didn't do that right. So the better statement for the faith to make is, you are a summon. But even telling Tidus that he's a summon is also incorrect. Because it's not he who was summoned, it was Xanarkand that was summoned. The dream Xanarkand that he specifically came from. And the faith are spending all of their effort maintaining that. And they don't necessarily want to tell that to Tidus. It's not information that, you know, they really need him to know. Yeah, they might be afraid that he won't do what they need him to do if they tell him the actual truth. It's hard to really say where, you know, what's actually happening. But I think the big thing is you're worried that it's the phrase that he is a dream that's the issue. And it's not. He's a summon. And I don't know if 10-2 actually goes into it or not, but my understanding is one of two things happens with Tidus. Either he came fully into being with all of the memories he has, or he actually lived them out in Dream Xanarkand, and it all happened in real time. I don't know if that's ever actually explained, but everything Tidus did exist, did happen. You know, it's all real. It's just, you know, real in a very different way. So we get a little bit of define what is real in this game. I mean, there's kind of a lot of themes at the end when we get to, you know, the final cutscenes. Oh, 100% 10-2 explains it? Okay, I'll have to do it eventually. But, you know, as I said, think of the, you know... Okay, I'll eventually do it. Once I'm done doing all the other shit that I'm doing. But, you know, just kind of think of those... You know, think of the lines the game gives you. Think of the way the game does it. I also would say think there's a phrase, or there's a, you know, kind of a saying, better to have, you know, better to have loved and lost than never have loved at all. So the love between, like, Yuna and Tidus are... I'll play it eventually, I promise. It will eventually happen, I just don't know when. I have other games I'd kind of rather play. But, you know, the fact that they do lose each other kind of excuse me, enhances the love between the two of them. Because, you know, the love they had never reaches a point that some love does, where, you know, they stop caring for each other. They always get kind of like that perfect, you know, that perfect history. So there's kind of like a lot of things that get to happen all at the same time with the story. Okay, let me just do a quick double check. So Tita should be in Stoic, Comrade. Okay, let's give everybody their actual weapons. Ragnarok. Cool. Okay, let's start leveling up again. So, this Tonberry here will always do, like, literal max damage to Tidus. The thing that we have going on is we have some weapons in play. All three of the characters currently on screen have a weapon that looks just like this. So they gain triple AP, so triple experience. They gain triple overdrive, so every time they gain, every point that would normally go into overdrive for them goes into experience instead. And they get overdrive to AP, so all overdrive they gain goes into experience instead. Excuse me. So what we're doing right now, normally you would do this with Waka in play. And Waka doing this is kind of interesting because he also has kills. Unfortunately, Yuna and Riku don't have kills, so they can't really do this the same way. But because Tidus is set to Stoic, and, oh crap, okay, he needs a changeover. So Tidus is set to Stoic. So what that means is every time he takes damage to himself, he gains overdrive. The other two are set to Comrade. Every time he takes damage, they gain overdrive. So, and the overdrive is based on exactly how much damage Don Tonberry is actually doing. So what we're ending up doing here is this is currently set up, and I don't think these two are going to do any damage whatsoever. Yeah, they're not really damage dealers right now. So what's going on right now is that Tidus smacks Don Tonberry, and Don Tonberry does 100,000 damage back to Tidus. And then that gives straight experience to the other two. So the only problem with this is that I have to actually kill him in order to get the experience. If I run away, it doesn't matter. So this will get, the more leveled up we get, the faster this will get. But we're literally fighting him to gain shit tons of experience every time I beat him. So beating Don Tonberry once just gave me 66 plus sphere levels for each character. So that is how we are going to be filling in the sphere grid. I'm going to let Tidus get the ever-loving shit beat out of him, and that's going to level people up very, very quickly. Yes, this is a lot of experience. So this is why I had to do what I was doing for the first hour of this stream. Don't really... Oh, crap. That's a 2? Damn it. I have to go fix... I have to fix that now. That's apparently a 2. I need that to be a 4. So for the first hour of this stream, and don't bother going to look at the first hour of this stream because it was silent. I was watching something on YouTube, so I had sound turned off. But for the first hour of this stream, I was grinding the enemy One Eye, and One Eye can drop the triple AP weapons, and it makes it a lot easier for me to craft the weapons. I forget the actual item required to craft triple AP, but triple AP is kind of a pain in the ass to craft. On the other hand, items that we got for catching all monsters gave me the required items for overdrive to AP and triple overdrive. Which, you know, naturally that makes my life a lot easier because I already have all the items required. So now I can do this, but it took me an hour fighting One Eye to get a triple AP item for every character. That way, whoever I wanted to do this with, I could. And then I decided that my 3 are going to be Riku, Tidus, and Yuna. Mostly because the strategy doesn't really change in general, no matter who you have. Because I'm going to be dropping Waka, I won't be able to do 1.5 million damage in one turn to Penance. Not that that really matters too much, just because it's speeding the game up by a few turns. That's about it. So that's all that Waka matters, is just because he gets that one burst damage. Riku I need to have because her overdrive actually can can save my ass if things go wrong, and things have a very high chance of going wrong. So she can save my ass if things go wrong. Riku's really the only one that matters because of that. Everybody else can do this fight, either way. The big reason I'm bringing Yuna into the fight is I want to see what the summons look like when she's fully powered up. How much damage they do. Can they go more than one round against Penance? Here's a hint. No. But can they go more than one round against Penance? The whole 9 yards. That's what I'm really looking for. So that's why we're using Yuna in addition to the rest of the team. And then Tidus I'm bringing in just because I happen to like Tidus. I'm going to actually waste a couple sphere levels here, and the reason I'm going to do that is, again, I'm trying to get all my characters on the same sphere. Which, I'm finding the wrong enemy. Legitimately, that's not going to matter incredibly much, just because they're going to go through areas that Tidus has already completed. They're going to go through areas that Yuna has already completed. But it should make life a little bit easier for me to keep track of where I've put all of these magic defense spheres. And the good news here is that because I got all the magic defense spheres the way I did, there's a little bit of extra experience if I do this way. Because I'm doing the magic defense, or because I had to fight One Eye as many times as I did, we ended up getting all the magic defense spheres that I'm ever going to need. So I can start working on magic defense now, and we can get magic defense up to 255. And then once magic defense hits 255, I never have to use another magic defense sphere, and I can destroy all future magic defense spheres. So it's going to make life a little bit easier when we get to every other stat that I'm going to be working on. There's actually no risk with this strategy that I'm doing right now. Again, if we game over, there's no actual pain in the ass there. The only thing we have to worry about is just making sure that I actually have enough Phoenix Downs to actually do the strategy. Because if I run out of Phoenix Downs, there's a significant chance that we're just going to flat wipe. Okay, as soon as he gets where he is now, so Don Tonberry is the closest he's going to get, we switch back to Khalidbolg, and now we actually start trying to beat him. Yeah, well, it's not that it made it less pains in the ass, it made grinding the sphere grid easier. The actual nonsense that we're doing here is still just as bad. Every other boss I will have to fight just as much as I fought One Eye. It didn't change the number of fights. But there's a certain order that you would usually do the fights in. I have to go look up the order, but because I believe you're basically trying to get you meant for like 12, 13, and 15? Not sure what you mean. Okay, Riku, where are you? I'm just gonna... Oh, crap. We just filled in a bunch of spheres that Riku doesn't have. Ugh, that's annoying. Oh, yeah. Ah, damn it. We just filled in a bunch of spheres that Riku doesn't have. Okay, I'm gonna send Riku back so she can activate all these spheres. Which thankfully should not take too long. There's another kind of nice part about what we're doing here, and what that is that as we start filling the sphere grid, there is that lit line that you see here. So on Riku it's green, on Tidus it's blue, on Yuna it's that like soft purple. That line is their travel line, as you might guess. The big nice thing about here is that if you're traveling on a line you've already traveled on, it costs less spheres. So we will reach a point where we've actually covered like literally the entire sphere grid, and it's going to cost a lot less movement to get back anywhere else I need to go. Is it 3-to-1? I thought it was 4-to-1. I thought it was 4 spaces for one use sphere. For backtracking. Not that I'm counting, because you've seen exactly how fast we're going to level, so it's not as if it's a big deal right now. But that is another reason why I need to make sure that Riku, Tidus, and Yuna are on the same spot. Because I also need to know how far they can move to make sure they're all leveling up the same pace. And I need to make sure that all of these spheres are leveled up in the same places. Because what's going to happen is I'm going to reach a point where I'm going to go, okay, so, you know, so Yuna has 255 magic defense. Cool. But, and so does, you know, so does Tidus, so does Riku. And then I'll find another, like, magic defense spot that is only worth, let's say, 2. I'll delete that magic defense spot. And all of a sudden, Riku will be at 253, Tidus will be at 255, and Yuna will be at 255 because of, you know, that variance in their starting stats. So I'll have to put in another magic defense sphere. So knowing they've all activated all of them allows me to pinpoint exactly how many spheres I actually need. Which is important, because the last thing that we will level up, the very last stat that I will be grinding is going to be health. And every sphere I do not need, and I need to go get some more mana spheres, every sphere I do not need to be anything else becomes health. Okay, I'm out of mana spheres, so let's go to Kados and get some more.